Welcome to the Retail Management Hero Point of Sale System, also known as POS. POS is extremely easy to use, but at the same time it provides a lot of powerful features for managing your store's customers and transactions. In this video, I will introduce you to adding sales representatives to transactions in POS. In most stores, the employees who provide customer service and enter transactions are cashiers. However, in some stores, there may also be employees who have specialized product knowledge and spend more time working with customers to develop or complete a sale. These employees are called sales representatives or sales reps. In some stores, sales reps will enter transactions in POS by themselves. For example, a store that sells high-end home theater or audio systems may only employ sales reps. These sales reps would enter transactions by themselves. In other stores, cashiers will enter transactions and then add any sales reps who worked with the customer. For example, in a big box store that sells a wide range of consumer electronics, cashiers may enter all transactions but add sales reps to specific transactions. The employee who enters the customer's transaction depends on the store's business model and policies. If you are new to working in retail, you may be wondering why stores would have separate roles for sales reps. The most common reason is so the store can track sales for specific sales reps. Tracking sales for sales reps may be tied to the sales rep's compensation. For example, sales reps may earn a commission for selling specific items, or they may earn a commission for every sale. Commissions are usually a % of the sale amount or a % of the profit. Tracking sales for sales reps may also be tied to other business practices, such as assigning sales reps to specific customers or limiting sales reps to selling specific products. In your store, adding a sales rep may be required for all transactions, or it may only be required for specific transactions. Similarly, adding a sales rep to a transaction may be optional. Ask your training supervisor or manager what your store's policies are regarding adding sales reps to transactions. A sales rep must be added to a transaction in order for them to get credit for the sale. This is true even when the sales rep enters the transaction themselves. They still need to add themselves as the sales rep in the transaction. This is because the sales commission report, which is used to track sales by sales reps and calculate commissions, requires that a sales rep be added to the transaction. If a sales rep is not added to a transaction, the transaction is not included in the report. There are two ways to add sales reps to transactions in POS. You can either add sales reps to the entire transaction, or you can add sales reps to specific items in a transaction. Let's start by looking at how to add a sales rep to the entire transaction. You would do this if the sales rep is the only sales rep who worked with the customer to complete the sale. A customer, Olivia, came to the store to buy a new scope for bird watching. A sales rep, Steve, helped Olivia pick out a suitable scope. Steve brings her to the front of the store and you ring up the scope. To add Steve as the sales rep for the entire transaction, you tap Transaction, Sales Reps, and Transaction Sales Rep. There aren't very many sales reps at this store, so you can just scroll through the list to find Steve. However, if the store has a lot of sales reps, you can look up Steve by entering his sales rep ID in the lookup field. To add Steve to the transaction, you can either tap Steve's name and then tap Add, or you can tap Steve's name twice. You can confirm that Steve was added to the transaction by looking in the Rep column in the transaction screen. You can see that he is listed as the sales rep for the scope. When the transaction is tendered, Steve will receive credit for the sale. What if you accidentally added the wrong sales rep to the transaction? Well, that's easy to fix. Just tap Transaction, Sales Reps, and Transaction Sales Rep and select a different sales rep. You can also completely remove the sales rep from the transaction. To do this, tap Transaction, Sales Reps, and Clear Transaction Sales Rep. What if more than one sales rep helped the customer? When this happens, you may need to add different sales reps to specific items in the transaction. For example, perhaps Olivia came to the store to buy a new scope for birdwatching, and Steve helped her pick out a scope. However, while Steve was getting the scope from the secure storage area, Olivia spots a display of heated bird baths in another part of the store and decides to get one for her backyard. She works with another sales rep, Brenda, to pick out a bird bath. Steve and Brenda bring Olivia to the front of the store, and you ring up the scope and the bird bath. To add Steve as the sales rep for the scope, you tap the scope to select it, then tap Transaction, Sales Reps, and Current Item Sales Rep. You tap Steve's name twice, or click Add to select him. You can also use the Action button to add sales reps to specific items in a transaction. To add Brenda as the sales rep for the bird bath, you tap Action beside the bird bath, then tap Sales Rep and tap Brenda's name twice, or tap Add to select her. However, depending on your store's policies, you may not be able to use the Action button. Ask your training supervisor or manager if you have access to the Action button. You can confirm that the sales reps were added correctly by looking in the Rep column in the transaction screen. When the transaction is tendered, Steve will receive credit for the scope, and Brenda will receive credit for the bird bath. What if you added the wrong sales rep to an item? Again, that's easy to fix. Just tap the item to select it, then tap Transaction, Sales Reps, and Current Item Sales Rep, then select a different sales rep. You can also use the Action button to change the sales rep for an item. Again, depending on your store's policies, you may not have access to the Action button. You can also completely remove the sales rep from an item. To do this, tap Transaction, Sales Reps, and clear Current Item Sales Rep. And that's it. As you've seen, it's really easy to add sales representatives to customer transactions in POS. Thank you for watching this video demonstration of POS. You can find more videos at training.rmhpos.com.